You are committing the ultimate error of empathy. You are projecting a pulse onto a spiritual corpse. You assume that, like any functioning human being, he is currently wading through the wreckage of a failed bond, trying to scrub the painful reminders of you from his world. But then, you see it. Your face is still there. Your smile is archived, categorized, and preserved in the high-definition vault of his gallery. You stop cold. That dangerous, flickering light of hope ignites in your chest. Does he miss me? Is he unable to let go? Was the love real after all? Kill that thought immediately. The fact that he refuses to hit delete is not a testament to his affection, it is the clinical evidence of his pathology. That image is not a memento, it is a trophy. You are viewing this through the lens of a healthy, bleeding heart, and that is why you are still vulnerable. To you, a photograph is a sacred vessel of memory, a bridge that transports you back to a moment of genuine, shared connection. But you must realize you are dealing with a psychological predator, and predators do not keep keepsakes for the sake of nostalgia, they keep them for status. You were never a person to him, you were a high-value commodity he successfully extracted. By hoarding your image, he isn't honoring your history, he is cataloging his conquest. He is the big game hunter of human spirits, and that photo is the taxidermy head mounted in the dark hallway of his ego to prove he was powerful enough to bring you down. The haunting question keeps you stuck. Why would he keep looking at my face if he hates me? This is the paradox that drives survivors mad. You remember the cruelty, the discard, the coldness in his eyes at the end. So why does he maintain this digital shrine? The answer lies in the concept of objectification. He doesn't see you in that picture. He sees his own reflection. He sees the version of himself that existed when he had you under his thumb. That photo isn't about your smile, it's about the fact that he was the one who made you smile. It is evidence of his control, frozen in time, stripped of the messy reality of who you actually are. Think about a museum curator. They don't love the artifacts because the artifacts are people. They love them because they are valuable possessions that enhance the prestige of the museum. The narcissist is the curator of a gallery of victims. Each photo serves as proof that he is a person of value, that he is attractive, that he is capable of securing a high-status partner. If you were beautiful, successful, or kind, keeping your photo is a way for him to signal to the world, and to himself, that he is the kind of man who gets women like you. It is a resume of his false self, and you are just a bullet point on the list. This behavior is designed to keep you trapped in a state of cognitive dissonance even after you have left. You see the photos, and you start to doubt your own reality. Maybe it wasn't that bad, you think. Maybe he really did care. This is psychological warfare waged from a distance. He knows that as long as those photos exist, he occupies real estate in your mind. He is publicly claiming ownership of you. Even if you have moved on, even if you are married to someone else, in his delusional narrative, that photo proves you still belong to him. He is refusing to release the copyright on your soul. There is a terrifying concept in psychology called snapshotting, and this is the core of his obsession. The narcissist does not interact with real people, he interacts with snapshots, static, internalized images of people that he creates in his mind. When he met you, he took a mental snapshot of you as the perfect supply. He idealized you. But real human beings are dynamic. They change, they have needs, they get angry. The real you became a threat to his fantasy. The photo, however, the photo remains the perfect snapshot. It never argues. It never asks for accountability. It never ages. He prefers the photo to the person because the photo is compliant. In the picture, you are frozen in a moment of adoration or happiness. You are the smiling object that reflects his grandiosity back to him. He can project whatever fantasy he wants onto that image. When he looks at the photo, he isn't remembering the fight that happened 5 minutes later. He is hallucinating a reality where he is the benevolent God and you are the worshipful subject. He keeps the photo because it is the only version of you he can control. The real you escaped. The digital you is still his prisoner. It is also a form of hoarding. Just as a hoarder cannot throw away old newspapers because they feel an irrational attachment to the potential value of the item, the narcissist hoards ex-partners. He keeps you on the shelf of his digital library. He might not look at you for months, but he needs to know you are there, just in case he needs a hit of supply, or just in case he decides to hoover you back in. Deleting the photo would mean admitting a finality that his ego cannot process. To him, nothing is ever over until he says it's over, and he never says it's over. Do not mistake his hoarding for sentimentality. Sentimentality requires empathy. It requires the ability to feel the loss of a separate human being. He does not feel loss, he feels resource depletion. Losing you was like losing a favorite watch, not a soulmate. When he looks at that photo, he feels the same way you might feel looking at a car you used to own. That was a nice ride. It is a transactional memory. He is remembering the utility you provided, the sex, the money, the status, the attention, not the human connection. The photo is a receipt for services rendered. The hook is set deep because you want to believe in his humanity. You want to believe that late at night, he looks at your picture and feels regret. You want to believe that he is haunted by what he lost. But the haunting reality is this: he is not looking at you. He is looking at a mirror. He is looking at that photo to remind himself that he exists. You are just the glass in the mirror. And the moment you realize this, the sentimental value of those photos evaporates, leaving only the cold, hard evidence of his pathology. 1. To understand why he clutches these pixels like a dying man grasping at a crucifix, you must descend into the mechanical horror of the internal object. In the narcissist's warped reality, there is no border where he ends and the external world begins. He doesn't meet people, he consumes them. He swallows your identity whole, processing you into a digital phantom that lives inside the lightless vault of his mind. Once he has converted your soul into an internal object, you are his property in perpetuity. The physical you may have escaped his clutches, but the version of you he manufactured remains, ready to be played with, tormented, or idealized at his dark whim. The photograph is the physical anchor for this psychological kidnapping. It is the leash that keeps your ghost tied to his bed long after you have gone no contact. 2. This is the clinical reason he can parade a new partner through his life while your images remain untouched and archived. To his disordered brain, there is no moral conflict because you are no longer a human being. You are a dormant object in psychological cold storage. He has simply placed you on a high shelf while he experiments with a new toy. He suffers from a total lack of object constancy, a biological malfunction that prevents him from holding the emotional reality of a person without them being physically present. The photo serves as a prosthetic bridge for this failing circuitry. It is the only proof his broken mind has that you ever existed, but it only allows you to exist in the specific, static, and controlled way he has chosen to remember his victory over you. The snapshot is his defense against abandonment. If he freezes you in a JPEG, you can never truly leave him. He has captured your soul in a digital box. When the real world rejects him, when he gets fired, or the new supply sees through his mask, he retreats into his gallery. He scrolls through the photos of his exes to self-soothe. He tells himself, "I am lovable. Look at all these women who smiled at me." He is using your frozen image to patch the holes in his leaking ego. You are emotional spackle. The photo is also a lie he tells himself about his history. Narcissists often have a fractured sense of time and memory. They rewrite history to suit their current mood. By keeping photos where you look happy, he can gaslight himself into believing he was a good partner. Look, she was happy. I didn't abuse her. She's smiling in this picture. He uses the photo as evidence to acquit himself of his crimes in the court of his own conscience. It is proof of a good relationship that never actually existed. He also fears the void. Without these external props, he has no internal identity. If he deletes the photos of his past, he has to face the emptiness of his present. He is a hollow man who defines himself entirely by who is standing next to him. A narcissist without an audience or a partner is like a tree falling in the forest with no one around. He makes no sound. The photos are his audience. They are the silent crowd applauding his life performance. Without them, he is just a blank screen. Consider the trophy aspect again. In the wild, a predator kills to eat. But a trophy hunter kills to display. The narcissist displays you. Even if the photos are hidden in a private folder, they are displayed to him. He derives a sense of power from scrolling through the harem. It validates his sexual market value. I can get women like this. It soothes the deep-seated shame that screams he is worthless. He uses your beauty to cover his ugliness. He interacts with the photo because it gives him narcissistic supply without the effort. Real relationships are work. Real intimacy requires vulnerability. But a photo? A photo is all profit, no cost. He can look at it and feel the rush of being with you without having to listen to your feelings or meet your needs. It is the ultimate parasitic relationship. He is feeding off the energy of the past because he is incapable of generating energy in the present. He is a vampire drinking from a blood bag he stored in the freezer years ago. The idealized source is crucial here. When he devalued you and discarded you, he convinced himself you were all bad. But as time passes, the bad memories fade for him, and he enters a phase of nostalgic recall, but it's distorted. He returns to the snapshot of the golden period. He keeps the photo to facilitate this fantasy. He wants to remember the golden period because it reflects well on him. He deletes the memories of the abuse because that reflects poorly on him. The photo is the propaganda poster for his regime. There is also the element of duper's delight. Sometimes, he keeps photos of you looking foolish, or vulnerable, or sexual, as a way to have a private laugh or feeling of dominance. It might not be a nice photo. It might be a photo that gives him leverage, or just makes him feel superior. Look at her, she had no idea I was cheating on her when this was taken. The photo becomes a vessel for his contempt. He looks at your trusting face and feels a sadistic thrill at how easily he fooled you. Ultimately, the psychology is simple. He keeps the photos because he never respected your autonomy. Deleting your photo would be an act of respecting your right to be gone. He does not grant you that right. In his mind, you are property. You don't throw away property unless it is broken beyond repair, and even then, you might keep it in the garage for spare parts. You are the spare parts for his ego. Now, let's look at the turn, the moment he weaponizes these photos against the new victim. This is where the keeping of photos shifts from passive hoarding to active abuse. He uses your image to triangulate the new supply. He will accidentally leave a photo of you up on his computer. He will mention how much you love that specific restaurant in the picture. He shows the new girl your photo and says, "She was so fit," or "She was so adventurous." He isn't praising you, he is destroying her. He uses your snapshot to create an impossible standard. He tells the new supply, "My ex never complained about this." He shows a picture of you smiling on a hike to prove that he is a fun guy and implying that the new partner is boring or demanding. You become the Phantom X, a perfect, silent specter that haunts the new relationship. You are no longer a person, you are a weapon he wields to make the new victim feel insecure and competitive. He is pitting two women against each other, one of whom isn't even in the room. This is the ultimate smear campaign in reverse. Sometimes he uses the photos to play the victim. He shows a picture of you and says, "I loved her so much, but she was crazy. She broke my heart." He uses your image to garner sympathy from the new target. "Look at this happy couple, see how I tried? And she threw it all away." He uses the visual evidence of your happiness to prove that he was a great boyfriend, hiding the reality of the abuse that was happening behind the lens. He also keeps them to keep a door open. Narcissists are notorious for recycling supply. The photo serves as a reminder that you are a viable option for a Hoover. When the new supply runs dry, he will look at your picture, remember the fuel you provided, and send that "thinking of you" text. The photo is his Rolodex of backup plans. He keeps you in the queue. He doesn't want to close the account, he just wants to pause the subscription. The photos allow him to crop reality. He literally and metaphorically crops the picture. He might crop out the setting where he yelled at you, leaving only the dinner where he bought you wine. He curates the exhibit of his life to show only the victories. When he shows these photos to others, he is controlling the narrative. He is the director of a documentary about his own life, and he has left all the footage of his cruelty on the cutting room floor. The photos are the carefully selected trailer for a movie that was actually a horror film. He revels in the jealousy he imagines you feeling. In his magical thinking, he believes that by keeping the photos, he is somehow keeping you engaged. He imagines you looking at his social media, if he hasn't blocked you, or if he posts throwback photos, and pining for him. He posts the old photos to bait you. A throwback Thursday of a vacation you took together isn't about the vacation, it's a dog whistle to you. It says, "I remember." Do you? It is a lure cast into the water to see if you will bite. The smirk behind the swipe is real. When he scrolls past your face, he doesn't feel love, he feels dominance. He remembers how he made you cry that night, how he made you beg. The photo triggers the memory of his power over you. It gives him a dopamine hit of superiority. He is an addict, and your face is the needle. He doesn't need to inject it every day, but he needs to know it's in the drawer. He claims ownership of your past. By refusing to delete the photos, he is saying, "That time belongs to me." He is colonizing your history. Even if you want to forget it, he is keeping the monument standing. It is a violation of your right to move on. He wants to be the author of your biography. If he deletes the photos, he admits that he is no longer a character in your story. He cannot handle being written out of the script. He puts you on a shelf like a toy he is bored of but doesn't want anyone else to play with. If he sees you happy with someone else, he might repost an old photo just to mark his territory. She may be with him, but look at how she looked at me. It is a pissing contest with your new reality. He is trying to stain your new life with the ink of the old one. The realization for you must be this: the photos are props. They are two-dimensional, flat, and lifeless, just like his soul. He prefers the paper version of you because paper doesn't have boundaries. Paper doesn't have a voice. Paper can be torn up, burned, or framed depending on his mood. He keeps the photos because he cannot handle the three-dimensional reality of a woman who demands respect. Now we enter the collapse, the pathetic reality of his hoarding. As he ages, as his charm fades, these photos become even more vital to his false self. They are the only proof he has that he was once great. The aging narcissist clings to the photos of his youth and his beautiful exes like a drowning man clings to driftwood. They are the debris of a shipwrecked life. He sits alone, surrounded by images of people who have all fled, trying to convince himself he is loved. He is hoarding dead things. That is the brutal truth. The relationship is dead. The love, if it existed, is dead. The version of you in that photo is dead. He is the keeper of a crypt. While you are out in the world, growing, changing, living, he is down in the dark, dusting off the skeletons. It is not romantic, it is morbid. He is stuck in a loop of time, reliving the glory days because his future is a black hole. Without these props, he has no past. A healthy person has internal memories, feelings, and growth that they carry with them. The narcissist has none of that. He has identity diffusion. He doesn't know who he is without the external validation. If he loses the photos, he loses the proof that he existed. He is terrified that without the evidence, he will simply vanish. He is a ghost who needs to haunt a house to feel real. He doesn't remember the feeling of the moment in the photo, he remembers the status of it. He looks at a photo of you two at a gala and thinks, "I looked good in that suit," not "I loved holding her hand." This emotional disconnect is why he can look at photos of you and feel nothing but pride or vanity. He is incapable of the warmth of nostalgia. His nostalgia is cold. It is the nostalgia of a king looking at a map of lands he once conquered, not a lover looking at a letter from a beloved. The photos are evidence of his greatness, but to the outside observer, they are evidence of his instability. If a new partner finds a hidden folder of 500 photos of an ex from 5 years ago, they don't think, "Wow, he loved her." They think, "This man is obsessed and dangerous." The mask slips. The photos become the smoking gun of his inability to let go, his inability to form new attachments. They reveal his pathology to the world. Deep down, it is a graveyard. Each photo represents a soul he consumed. He looks at them not with fondness, but with the hunger of a cannibal remembering a good meal. She was good supply, he thinks. She gave me everything. He misses the supply, not the supplier. He misses the way you made him feel, not the way you were. The photos are the menu of a restaurant he got kicked out of. He is a taxidermist of relationships. He stuffs and mounts the memories to make them look alive, but they are hollow. He wants the appearance of life without the breath. He wants the smile without the thoughts behind it. This is why he keeps the photos, because they are the only form of life he can tolerate, the fake kind. The kind that stands still and lets him project. The pathetic nature of it becomes clear when you see him for what he is, a lonely man staring at pixels on a screen to avoid the crushing weight of his own shame. He knows, somewhere in the deep recesses of his mind, that you left him. He knows he failed. But as long as he has the photo, he can pretend. He can pretend you are just away on a trip. He can pretend he is still the man in the picture. He is using the photos to dissociate from the reality of his failure. The disconnect is absolute. He destroyed the person but worships the image. He abused you, gaslit you, and discarded you, yet he frames your face. This is the ultimate madness of narcissism. He loves the idea of you while hating the reality of you. He destroyed the real thing because it was imperfect, but he worships the image because it is silent. He is an idolater of false gods, and the falsest god of all is his own reflection in your eyes. The danger is that if you demand he delete them, he rages. This is narcissistic injury. By asking him to delete them, you are taking away his toy. You are challenging his control. He will fight you for those JPEGs like they are diamonds. Not because he loves you, but because he hates losing. He will claim you are crazy, jealous, or controlling. He will Davo you. He will protect his trophy collection at all costs because without it, he is just a lonely hunter with an empty wall. The final truth you must embrace is this: you are not that snapshot. That woman in the photo? She doesn't exist anymore. She was a victim. She was confused. She was under his spell. You have evolved. You have grown. He is holding on to a ghost. Let him have the ghost. You have the life. You have the breath. You have the future. He is stuck in a static past, frozen in a moment that is gone forever. You evolved, he stayed stuck. That is the victory. He is still the same man in that photo, with the same empty soul, the same hunger, the same mask. But you? You have broken out of the frame. You have stepped out of the two-dimensional world he trapped you in and into the three-dimensional world of freedom. His gallery is a prison, and you have escaped. Let him keep the paper, you have the pulse. Let him scroll through his digital graveyard. It makes no difference to your reality. His possession of your image does not give him possession of your soul. You must sever the energetic cord. When you think of him looking at your photo, do not feel flattered and do not feel afraid. Feel indifference. Feel the pity you would feel for a child playing with a broken toy. Indifference is your superpower. The moment you stop caring that he has the photos is the moment the photos lose their power. They become just meaningless data on a server. They are not pieces of you. They are just pixels. You reclaim your power by realizing that he can keep the copy, but he lost the original. And he knows it. That is why he stares at the copy, because it is the closest he will ever get to the light again. Breaking the spell of he still loves me is hard, but necessary. He loves the control. He loves the memory of his power. He does not love you. If he loved you, he would have treated the real you with kindness. He would have respected your boundaries. He would have let you go with grace. The keeping of the photos is an act of selfishness, not love. It is the final act of a toddler refusing to share. You are the one who got away, and the photo is the consolation prize. He settles for the image because he couldn't handle the reality. You were too real, too bright, too alive for his dead world. He had to reduce you to a snapshot to tolerate you. Be proud that you were too much for him to handle. Be proud that you forced him to retreat to his gallery of ghosts. Embrace the warrior spirit. You are not a victim on display, you are a survivor in action. Every day you live your life without him is an act of defiance against his frozen narrative. He wants you to be the girl in the picture, static, waiting, trapped. By moving forward, by changing, by aging, by loving again, you are destroying his fantasy. You are proving that you are not an object. Disconnect your soul from his digital cloud. Visualize a cord connecting you to those photos and cut it with a giant pair of shears. Say to yourself, that is not me. That is a shadow. Take back your energy. Leave him with the shadows. He is welcome to them. They are all he has left. He is the king of a kingdom of dust. He is haunting himself. That is the ultimate irony. He keeps the photos to avoid the void, but the photos only highlight what he has lost. They are constant reminders of his inability to keep a relationship alive. He is torturing himself with the evidence of his own failures, disguised as trophies. He is trapped in a museum of his own mistakes, forced to be the curator of a lonely, empty exhibit. The final truth, he will never delete them. He will die with his digital harem intact, clutching his phone like a rosary of regrets. But it doesn't matter, because you are not in that phone. You are out here, in the sun, living the life he was too small to be a part of. He kept the photo, but he lost the woman. And that is a trade that will haunt him, not you, for the rest of his miserable life. The snapshot fades, but the lioness roars.